real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Anastasia Studstill is a hairstylist, and she says the defendant, who was one of her clients, portrays a lavish lifestyle on social media. But she turned out to be a fraud. Anastasia's suing her former client for a loan and emotional distress. Defendant Denisha Pollock says she doesn't know where Anastasia is getting her information because everything she posts online is the truth. Denisha refuses to repay Anastasia because she threatened her.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I met Denisha December 2020 when she inquired about getting her hair done. Denisha seems to have a pretty good personality. She always nice. She always has this lavish lifestyle on social media. Denisha drives a Camaro. She's a part of a group where they travel all across the world doing nice things. Good. She told me she is an LPN, and she also told me she has 2 boys, but I found out she's not an LPN, she's a CNA. She doesn't have custody of her kids.
Saying she makes less money. That's all you're saying about that, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I also
found out. How about kids? Did she had 2 kids?
She had 2 boys. I thought she had custody of them. I felt so bad to find out she didn't. She portrays, this lifestyle on social media where she's a boss. So, she's doing good things. And me being a stylist, I'm happy for all my clients. If you're excelling in life, you're doing great things.
How long has she been a client again?
Since 2020, December 2020.
Let me get some background on you, ma'am.
Yes, I did meet her in December. She was a stylist. She seemed pretty cool to me, just drama. I do have custody of my kids. I just don't post them on social media. I don't do anything of that because of what's going on in the world today. Also, I am an LPN. I travel a lot, so the information, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, where did it come from, man? You would know this woman's business.
She referred her best friend to me. Her best friend told me, I don't know why she lied to you, and told me, she told you that she's an LPN. She lies to a lot of people, and she don't have custody of her kids, or she isn't an LPN. So that was her best friend.
What's the initials of this best friend?
It starts with an S.
All right, you have a best friend or a very close friend whose name starts with an S?
No, her name doesn't start with the S, Your Honor.
How do you know it's her? Oh, your best friend's
it's my best,
name.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say maybe it's one of your friends, and a close friend.
That friend that she's speaking on contacted me and told me that Stud Hill was calling her, saying things about me.
Does that person's name start with an S?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No.
Said that. What
Stud
about?
Hill contacted her and made a threat that what she was gonna do to me.
About what?
Yeah, I don't know whatever she was gonna do to me. It's in the.
Why would she want to do something to you?
I guess in regards to the money that she's saying.
Oh, well, we're not there yet. I was letting you tell me about your relationship with your hairstylist. All right, and what else do you want to tell me before we get right into it?
I also have page 1 through 3 where it shows she posting her money on social media. She has a nice car, Hello Kitty car, Camaro. She also posts about traveling and making money and that she's a boss. So me feeling like you're a boss, I didn't feel like I could not trust her. And now I see that she's not the person she portrayed to be.
So when did you all discuss borrowing money?
It was May the 4th, 2021.
Okay. The evidence says this is from 5 days ago.
Oh, that's when she posted that 5 days ago.
All right, so this has nothing to do with what happened before 5 days ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she may have been broke then, but she may have hit the lotto since then. So go ahead. This doesn't show that she was balling then. Right. This shows that she's been balling as of 5 days ago. Let me see the Camaro. How long you had the Camaro?
It's not a Camaro, Your Honor. It's a Challenger.
All right. There's a difference.
Yeah, big difference.
See that? This is October of 2020. She had a Challenger. My summer about to be so lit. Make this cash and take me some trips.
That's great.
This is June, and when she borrowed the money in May,
She borrowed the money.
borrowed money from you in May, and said, I'm about to make this cash and take me some trips. She was planning her vacation while she was borrowing money from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Borrow what you want and beg for what you need.
That's right.
So how did the question come up about her borrowing money? Tell me that conversation.
Denisha had reached out to me, and she was telling me someone had held her money while she was on the traveling assignment, and that they ended up going to jail and they didn't pay her the money back. And I told Denisha I was in the process of moving, and I asked her how much was it, and she told me $530. So I said, okay, that's not a problem, as long as you pay me back. And stating on page 7, she told me she would pay me back.
You had known her for 6 months.
It just, I have a good heart, and she seems like a honest, upfront person. From what I've known, I had no reason not to believe her.
So anybody that comes in the shop that's been coming there for 6 months, you loan them money?
If they don't give me no reason not to believe them.
Okay, you're good.
And you a boss? If you're a boss.
Good. What were the terms of the loan?
That she would pay me back by Friday. She borrowed the money on a Wednesday.
And she said she would get it in 2 days from where?
Her check, she said that.
Why couldn't she wait 2 days then? Why didn't you say, well, you ain't got but 2 days?
Exactly. But she
What do you mean exactly? Why you tell her that?
Because she made like that it was an emergency. She didn't want to be behind.
Did she tell you what the emergency? Did she say, my lights are being cut off in 2 hours?
She was on a traveling assignment far away, so she wasn't able to send the money because she was behind on her bills already. So she got a big...
But send the money, what did she tell you the money was needed for within 48 hours?
For her rent.
She said, I'm being evicted, or I'm going to court, or the sheriff is on the way to put my things out the house.
Her landlord is very strict. He's a private owner, and she really wanted to go ahead and pay her rent because she know her friend was locked up.
All right, and if she waited 2 days to pay her rent, what would happen? She said, go ahead, ma'am. I'll let you know. If that's what you do, then you do what you do. You gotta tell me something. You gotta tell me you're gonna suffer these next 48 hours. Not that it's gonna be a slight inconvenience. I'm gonna be late on my rent 3 days, or he gonna charge me a $50 late fee. No, you gotta tell me more than that. That's the only thing happens when you're behind on your rent.
Right.
Well, you gotta have your rent. So that's up to you, ma'am. That was a mistake, in my opinion. I tell people all the time, whenever folks come to you and say, can I borrow something to the end of the week? Unless you're about to suffer hardship in those 4 days, why can't you wait? What'll happen if you wait 4 more days since you say you're gonna have it? If they can't give you a right explanation, that means you ain't getting your money back. You can pay this emergency in 4 days unless that emergency is gonna cause you hardship in 3 or 4 days. That's game all the way around the world. People run that all the time. I pay in a few days. I pay you in 2 days. I pay you tomorrow. People go for the tomorrow game.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Who does that? Can I borrow some money? I'll pay it back tomorrow. No, you'll wait till tomorrow. I'm deviating a little, but I'm trying to give y'all some info. All right.
On page 13, she was telling me I'm banking $220 an hour, saying that she's making this amount of money.
How much?
So $220 an hour. She made her regular rate plus that because she was doing the traveling assignment. So she was like, she didn't have the money right away, but she would have it this week.
Yes, weekly pay. Girl, I'm making $220 an hour. You make $220 an hour, man?
Yana, it was for the traveling. I just put it all in one. It's for the traveling and everything. Like me traveling, I was in California. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I was at.
And they give you $220 an hour?
Yes, I banked out there.
Pardon me?
I had made a lot of money out there.
Why would you have to borrow money from anybody and you make that kind of money?
Yana, I had just got to California, and they were paying me my traveling check that Friday.
How many days? There you go, told you. And you couldn't wait.
My landlord was like really nagging me.
He had served you, you had went to court?
No, he said he was gonna do that. I had never been through that, so I didn't know the process.
Oh, you never been late on your rent in your life?
No, never.
Okay. Yet you don't pay this woman her money back. Got it. Yeah, all right. All right, go ahead.
And Your Honor,
Messed up there.
I was so excited. I said, give me the information. So as you see, I asked her for the information because I want to make that additional to doing hair. So
Raise your hand if you want to make $220 an hour.
Okay.
And you don't. Because that's $1,600 a day.
Yeah.
And nurses work overtime a lot now because it's big demand. So it might be $2,000 a day. Multiply that by 200. 200 times 2,000.
400 grand.
Oh, you getting money. Oh, you getting real money.
That's false.
400,000? All right, ma'am. What do you say to not paying her?
Well, I had all intentions on paying her, but after all the threatening and I blocked her.
How long after borrowing the money did she threaten you?
It wasn't even 5 days.
All right. And when were you to repay it? How many days?
On a Friday. It was
How many days?
3.
3 days. And you didn't pay. You were late.
Right, I guess.
What do you mean? You don't know the difference between 3 days and 5 days?
I mean, but
$220
nobody
an hour,
knows-
lady?
Your Honor,
You
nobody
don't know
knows
the
what
difference between whether you're late. She said, I guess. I said, you were supposed to pay in 3 days, and she called you in 5, so you were late.
Well, Your Honor, she
I
called me
guess.
the day of. She called me the day of, too.
You
the
said
day
5 days, ma'am.
No,
Now
she
you're
called me-
changing your story when you saw what you were saying was a conflict. What else is the money for? $530 for the loan. What's the emotional distress for?
Because she kept giving me the runaround. Each day she was like, oh, it's Saturday. Oh, I can't
That's
catch
what
my
you
check.
get for loaning people money that
Yeah.
you don't even know. You come in here and want some emotional distress. You're going to be distressed a lot if you keep loaning your clients money and they tell you they're going to pay you in the end of the week.
I asked her to tell me if she needed more time instead of avoiding me.
You have
and
something
she was
like that to
promise.
show me?
Yeah.
Right.
I told her, just let me know, be honest with me.
Okay.
From page.
Because she gave the impression that you were nasty with her when you first asked for your
No,
money.
I said, okay, from page 17 through 20. But,
Now,
and
this
21.
is starting May 9th. When did
The
she borrow
7th.
it?
The 7th. She said, I promise you, I swear.
It's Sunday, ma'am, and you didn't try to send me the money yesterday, or neither did you contact me to let me know you couldn't. So I need to know the time today you are sending it. Here you go again at 24 hours later. What's up? I just did a mobile deposit, and as soon as that check comes available, I will cash app you. I know I owe you, but I don't like owing people. Never have this is a first. But I swear, you don't have to keep texting me and calling me. I know that I owe you. She gonna get nasty with you. Nasty with you now. And she owe you money. All right, so tell me how she got nasty with you. You said you don't want to pay her because she got nasty with you.
She made posts on Facebook.
What date?
I can't remember that day.
Okay, where is the post?
It was on Facebook.
you
It's
have it
been
yet?
months ago.
Oh, pardon me?
It was when it was going on. No, I don't,
Okay,
because
you
I
can't
got a
take
new
the
phone.
screenshot?
and-
Oh, you didn't
no.
know you were gonna be sued. Yeah, okay. When you don't
And
pay people their money, you're probably gonna be sued. So any evidence? Let me take this picture because I ain't paying her and I'm gonna be sued. That's what you do. All right, this is a word to the wise. So you have zero evidence to prove your case, huh?
Well, I actually have what she was talking with my friend, pages 1 and 2, about her.
Okay, it's a whole conversation.
Yeah.
There's you. Oh, B, that girl is gonna beat your A about her money, but I don't get into nothing. I don't have nothing to do with that. B, who in the day of B beat my A, I had my mammy, whatever. Anastasia. Ha ha ha! You laugh. So you the friend she said she was talking about, huh? They laughing at you. You a joke now.
That's rough.
Anything else from you?
No, sir.
$530. You shouldn't have loaned her the money in the first place. That's your judgment. You only knew her 6 months. All right, have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Denisha, I just don't understand. If you a boss and you making all this money, why you can't pay me?
It was the
Why
way
you had to block me? You
It
didn't
was
have
the
to
way you
block
handle
me.
things. Like, you're not going to handle me any kind of way or like some child and think I'm just going to, no, it don't work like that.
Boss though, bosses don't have to.
And is and still will be when I leave.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
But,
Enjoy.
But when you're a boss, you carry yourself as
I
a boss.
will be, but stop stalking my Facebook. That's like
I have
not
no
regular.
reason. I needed evidence.
That's not regular. And you
You my
blocked.
friend.
That's strange.
You my friend on Facebook. You
That's
didn't
weird.
realize
No, I'm
it.
not.
You my friend on my
I
weight loss
blocked
page.
you.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes.
Plaintiff Courtney Corbett was in and out of foster care because her mother was a drug addict. And in 2010, the defendant reached out and said he thought they had the same father. Courtney's not sure what to believe, so she petitioned the court for a DNA test. Defendant Cornell Bernard remembers meeting Courtney when he was 7, but they lost touch after that. Cornell says he never stopped looking for Courtney, and he was thrilled when he finally found her in 2010.
We are here and petitioning the court for a test, siblings DNA test, correct? See if
Yes,
you all are siblings. Start with you.
So today I'm here for some answers. I'm trying to figure out if Cornell is my sibling. I was born here in Chicago. My parents moved from the area and moved us out of state. We suffered a lot with, my mother suffered like with drug abuse, things like
Where
that.
did you all move to?
We moved to California,
What part?
Sacramento.
Did you
Yeah.
continue her drug use there, or did it start there?
She did. Her drug use actually started here. Yes. And it started back up while she was in Sacramento.
When she moved to Sacramento, she just kind of found some drugs.
I think what she did was she was trying to make a change. And then when she got down there, like she just got into it from just being with the wrong people and
Okay.
No.
She found a group of dope fiends there. Bottom line. Bottom line.
Yes.
Let me stop prettying it up. All right.
Yeah.
Left one group of dope fiends here in Chicago, and then one found her crew in Sacramento. All right. And how was life for you? That's pretty challenging when the parent is a drug addict.
yes, actually it was very challenging for me, Your Honor. In and out of foster care throughout my life.
Starting what age?
About the age of 6 or 7 years old. And
What was your mother addicted to?
crack cocaine to my
80s or 90s or what?
80s. We were born in the 80s, so well, I was,
The height of the flooding of the drugs into the inner cities.
yes.
The result, as I continue to emphasize and we see on this show, is that the children suffer most. Most end up in and out of foster care or prison or dead. If you're addicted to drugs long enough, to an opioid, crystal meth, crack cocaine, ultimately your child is going to be damaged one way or the other. If you use the drugs while you were pregnant, the child is going to be damaged because the child was smoking crack in your stomach, because the child was shooting heroin in your stomach. Whatever you did, the child got. Then don't think it's just because these children are born and decided that they're going to be a menace to society. It's because they were neglected and they had no direction because their parents were addicted to drugs. So, sorry to hear that, but you made it out, and tell us how you did that. Tell us about give me the success story, because you certainly come across as a success story after having gone through that.
I think so, Your Honor. I just want to also mention that my mother, she did change her life around, and she has been clean and sober for the past 19 years.
Good. There you go. 19 years.
Yes, but she did change her life around and stuff. So yeah, so it became good. And for me, I stayed in school. Like I said, the streets were hard. About 16 years old, I decided foster care wasn't for me anymore, and I made a way, got my own place, finished up school, and that's what I'm doing now, Your Honor. Just still pushing, still trying to be a good person.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, where do you know the defendant from? How did you come to know him, or to understand that you all were siblings and now you're not sure? Tell me the scenario we're dealing with here.
So I actually met the defendant on Facebook. That was like our first, like 2010, Your Honor. So I got a message in 2010 saying, hey, is your father this person? Because I think we have the same father. And I don't know, I was very apprehensive. Just growing up on the streets, I don't trust a lot of people and things like that. So I wasn't, for sure if he was actually my brother. I did hear years ago that I had a brother, but not the same name. So we both had that name issue. He also said when he was looking for me, he couldn't, he didn't know my name.
What's been going on since 2010?
Slow communication.
What's that?
Slow communication,
Okay.
back and forth through social media, until we finally decide. Maybe twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year.
Why don't you give me some background on yourself and on your relationship with your presumed sister?
Well, I grew up here in Chicago. I remember meeting her when I was around 7 years old, and about maybe 2 or 3 years later.
Where, at the house or her house?
Yeah, my grandma's house, actually.
Okay.
And 2 or 3 years later.
She was 7 or you were 7?
I was 7, yeah. She was maybe 6 or 7 at the time. I mean, she was maybe 5 or 6 at the time. And they ended up moving off to California, and we kind of lost contact up until 2010.
And how did the discussion of siblings come up then?
Well, I had talked to my dad again and asked him again, like, hey, didn't you say I had a sister? What's going on with that? And I found her through Facebook, and we started connecting and started talking.
And you decided to ask him in 2010?
No, I asked him years before, but he was still in the Bay Area, and I didn't know exactly where he was at.
Okay.
So maybe 2 or 3 years later, then he finally said, hey, you know what? This is your sister, gave me her name, and that's when I started searching.
Asking the other questions like, hey, why didn't you guys tell me before? Or...
No, not really, because, we was growing up on our own, trying to, make our own foundation. I was raising kids as I grew up, but I never gave up. I never stopped searching for her because I know how it is to grow up without a parent,
So when did you all decide that you believed you were siblings?
I'm not there yet already, so I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, for me, I have always known because she has been around, but when they moved, it was just like we faded away.
All right, so years later, Dad, where's my sister?
What's going on with that? Right.
Meeting her at age 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what happened with that issue? Well, they was both going through things in their life, so I was too, but I never gave up the search. And when I finally found her, I had her last name misspelled. And then when I finally got the correct last name, she accepted the request, and we started chatting.
Good. And
Yep.
you don't claim to be the son of her mom.
No.
Just
No.
the father.
Correct.
Just the same father.
Correct.
She wasn't totally convinced, perhaps because she doesn't recall meeting you as a child. Do you recall meeting?
Right.
No.
And yeah, nobody remembers anything under 4.
Right, exactly.
And let me give a little comfort to the folks who are worried about how their children are going to be affected by COVID and the wearing of the mask and the changing of their lifestyles in the future.
Right.
I don't think many of them it's going to be much to it if you're under 5, because you don't remember anything under 4. So all you'll know is as of age, this is how I'm looking at my granddaughter.
Right.
She's
Right.
5, just
Right.
turned 5. So since 3.5, all she's known is wearing masks.
A year and a half,
And
right.
that there is a super germ
Right.
out here, so you have to wash your hands all the time and wear a mask. I think everything that happened to me when I was born, it really only happened when I was 5, because I can't remember when I was born. I remember when I was born. No, you don't. I remember when I was 2. No, you don't. So just want to give that small level of comfort, and that's what I was saying about you don't remember meeting him.
Right.
He remembers meeting you. That's the difference we have here. Now let's see if your memory works, because you're an old man, younger, and so she should be the one that remembers one way or the other. But you all are siblings. All right.
Okay.
His memory's still working. There you go. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's what's up.
Thank you. I'm happy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dang. Okay, bro. Wow, love you too. I'm happy.
Me too.
Mega happy. Okay.
Plaintiff Kelly Burgett hired the defendant to service her pool for the summer, and she paid her in full for a discount. However, she's suing for a refund because the defendant only showed up a fraction of the time. Defendant Carrie Cohn insists she intended to make good on the contract, but the plaintiff refused to upgrade her filter, and her pool turned green as a result of algae, so she couldn't do her job properly.
Start with you.
Okay, so I contacted her company in January, and she gave me some information about how her services work. I decided to hire her. I paid her in full to get a 10% discount, so I paid her for the entire season, which was supposed to consist of pool opening, 24 cleanings, and pool closing. So that was paid
How
in January.
often? What were the time intervals?
Every week.
Okay.
Yes. So the opening was in May, and actually we spoke on the 10th of May. We set a date of the 14th to open the pool. The 14th, she contacted me and said that she wasn't going to make it, asked if she could come the next day. I told her that was fine. So 2 more days go by. She contacts me again Monday and says, hey, we didn't make it over the weekend. I'll be there today or tomorrow. Okay, no problem. 2 more days go by. I haven't heard from her, so I message her. She said, yep, I'll be out this week. 2 more days go by. So it was a whole week since the time she was supposed to have been there.
7 days later,
Correct.
she hasn't completed the first step,
Right.
the
correct.
opening.
Correct. So she did finally come out on the 21st. And then I had 5 cleanings since that time, May 28th, June 11th, June 18th, July 3rd, and July 13th. So as you can see, those weren't weekly. The following week after June 13th, she contacted me and told me that she was not going to be able to service my pool anymore, and that she offered to refund the remainder of the season. I asked her about all the visits that had been previously missed, and she said that she wasn't going to reimburse those.
Okay. What's the total number of cleanings?
The total number of cleanings was supposed to have been 24, and I received 5.
5. All right. And did she give you a reason for that?
She told me that she had done 12 cleanings.
Oh.
I asked her for the dates of those cleanings because it had only been 8 weeks from the time she actually opened the pool till the time she had quit, and she never did provide those dates.
Why didn't you warn me that you should have started out, Judge, this is going to be a case that really irritates you, because I'm going to say 5 and she's going to say 12. That's going to be a vast difference, and we probably don't even have in our text messages the number of weeks she missed. So I don't know how you're going to decide this, Your Honor, so I just want to give you a heads up. Watch this. How many times did you clean?
12.
You knew that.
5, 12. Give me some background first.
Okay, so I'm the owner of Sing and Sands Pools, LLC. I started this pool service 2 years ago. This is my first time being sued. From 2015 to 19, I was working at another pool company, and they closed. That's kind of how I started my own business. I spoke with Ms. Burgett in January. We agreed on the 24 weeks of services, cleanings, opening, closing. We did the contract. There was some misconfusion at the beginning, come May, because she was getting a liner installed in her pool, which pushed us back a few weeks. And then the 8 cleanings that I have, we did miss a few weeks She is correct on that. But there were times where I had spoke with her and told her, advised her that the cartridge filter that she has for her pool needs to be upgraded to a sand filter.
She tell you that?
She advised that a sand filter was easier for her to operate, but it didn't
Okay.
compromise the function of the pool.
So after that, there was a storm that came in, and we had spoke after the storm came in. She advised me that the pool was green. She also
what?
was green, all the algae growth and everything from the sun and then the rain and whatnot. We came out there, we did a chemical treatment. We did not clean the pool at that same time, but the service is still, we come out there, we use the chemicals, we do a treatment on the pool. We did that multiple times as the pool was still green. With the cartridge filter, you can vacuum the green algae out of the pool all you want to, but the problem is the cartridge filter just kind of blows the green algae water that it's filtering back into the pool. So it's a hard process to do this. And then there was multiple times where my husband has gone out there with a friend of his to clean the pool. So that's where I get the total from 12.
Okay, why didn't you do the 24?
Because she had given me a text message stating that if we felt like that we couldn't do the pool any longer, then to let her know so she could find somebody else to do the pool. And that's when
Why do you think she sent that? That means you stopped coming.
She was probably upset that her pool continued to stay green.
That doesn't sound like that's what that says. When you say if you don't intend to do it anymore, that sounds like you've given an indication that you don't intend to do it anymore. The best indication is when you don't do it. You don't show up. And that sounds like she's saying, I haven't seen you. You all haven't been showing up. Do you still want to do this? That doesn't sound like there's algae or there's this, and I know it's hard on you guys, and I'm trying to see if you want to do it. What do you say to that? Did you ever tell or ask if they wanted to continue? And what was that based on, that question?
Yes, I did ask her to let me know if she wasn't able to continue, and it was based on the fact that they didn't come every week like they were supposed to. And the pool was also green because they didn't come every week like they were supposed to. When I finally messaged her and said, hey, it's been raining, the pool is green, it had been 2 weeks since they had been there.
The total amount was, that she paid up front, was how much, ma'am? Let's see.
A total of $2,421.
$2,421. Why don't you think you should give her half her money back? You only did, even if it's only half the job.
The period of time, there was, I think, 2 weeks where nobody had come. And that was the time that my husband had gone out there and done the chemical treatment. Now, the process, that was when she was advised that she needed to switch over from a cartridge filter or sand tank. And we had spoke over the phone, and she said that her husband had been cleaning out the cartridge filter and trying to maintain that as well, because it was a two people job. And unless she wanted to pay for more services coming out, 2-3 times a week, that wasn't something that we did. So they agreed to go ahead and start washing out the filters. Every other day they needed to be rinsed out.
Is that true?
No, none of that ever happened. She asked me in January when we signed the contract what kind of pool I had, what kind of filter I had, so she knew all that up front.
So you nor your husband have ever dealt with the filter?
Yeah, we did, but we were not ever asked to. We had to do it because they weren't there.
None of that ever happened. I didn't ask you, did she ask you to? I said, did that happen?
Yes, we did clean the filter.
How often would you clean the filter?
Once to twice a week.
And it's supposed to be cleaned how often?
Well, if the pool is getting green, it needs to be changed. You're supposed to have two separate. Yes, it needs to have 2 separate filters for the season.
And you told her that?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you to replace it?
Yeah, we have 2 separate filters. So we would take.
Replace any of them?
Yeah, we bought 2 new ones at the beginning of the season, and you take them out and then put the old one in and
Did
clean.
you know that? So how did it go wrong then?
Yes, because with the storm that came in, it got green. She had a solar cover on it. She advised me that the pool was getting green and we had not been there that week.
My point is storms come all the time. If your service doesn't accommodate a storm, what would address it? without new filters? Nothing? Every time there's a storm, there's a new filter necessary?
No, what's necessary is that somebody needs to go out there and put more chlorine or more tablets into the pool.
Whose job is that?
We're paid for weekly service, not daily service. If a storm comes in, we don't come out to everybody's home.
Whose job is it? I didn't ask you any of that just now. My last one was the chlorine. You told me what is supposed to happen to avoid what occurred, and I said who was supposed to do that.
I guess that would be us.
And
Or
you
our
didn't.
job to at least call her and tell her to.
And you
come
didn't. $2,187. If you failed to adhere to all the elements of the agreement and the responsibilities that you know come with pool cleaning, you failed to do it all, then you're liable. I have to blame it on you. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
I don't really have anything to say. I'm just glad that it's over and we can put it behind us.